So you've decided you want to kick off 2023 by investing. Excellent choice. But which investment app should you choose? You've got commission-free trading apps, DIY platforms, Robo-advisors, managed accounts, ETF apps, and fund supermarkets to name some of your options. So where do you begin? Well, I've put together this guide to make the whole thing nice and easy for you. Now, before we dive into the comparison, we need to set a few ground rules. I'm going to be comparing investment apps on the assumption that you are going to be investing into an ISA. That's a stocks and shares ISA, where you can put up to £20,000 into the account each tax year, and absolutely everything in that account is completely tax-free. I'm also going to assume that we're just investing a regular amount every month, so for example £50, into a global index fund or a global ETF. If you want to know what I think are some of the best global index funds and ETFs you can invest into, I recommend you watch my previous video, which I'll link up here and in the description box down below. So, what companies are we going to be looking at? Now that we know what we're comparing for, we need to know what companies we're going to look at. So I've chosen some of the top investment apps that you could use and broken them down into 4 categories, 3 in each of them. Category 1 are our commission-free trading apps. We have Trading 2 and 2, Free Trade, and Invest Engine. These are apps that have become quite popular over the past few years, as they normally allow you to buy and sell stocks of companies for free, and some offer additional features you can get access to if you purchase some form of subscription. In category 2, we have our more traditional companies you can use to invest with. These are normally much bigger companies that have been around for a while, and they normally offer a much wider range of services. Here we have Hargreaves Lansdown, the biggest in the UK, Fidelity International, and AJ Bell. Now, some of you might be thinking, hold on, what about Vanguard? Unfortunately, they don't technically have an app, so they are excluded from our comparison. But I'll chuck them in at the end to show you how they would have performed, as they are a very popular choice. Category 3, we have what are called Robo-advisors. These companies typically have about maybe 7 different investment portfolios, each with different risk levels. You then answer a questionnaire in order for them to understand your level of risk, and then they will then put you into the portfolio that matches your risk level. We're looking at Nutmeg, the biggest robo-advisor in the UK and also now owned by JP Morgan, one of the biggest banks in the world, Wealthify, which is actually owned by Aviva, and lastly, Money Farm. And finally, we have category 4, where we have some newer, quite innovative companies who do things a bit differently. Here we've got Moneybox, Plum, and Chip. Now, Moneybox will allow you to set up a weekly or monthly deposit into your ISA. That's nothing groundbreaking. But what they do that's really interesting is they allow you to round up your everyday purchases to the nearest pound, with that extra money going into your account to be invested. So, for example, you spend £1.60 on a coffee. You can round that up to £2 and have the extra 40p go straight into your investments for you. Plum and Chip work slightly differently. What they do is they analyze your transactions and your spending habits, and they identify an amount of money they think you can save and invest without it impacting your day-to-day life or spending. So it's kind of like investing without noticing. So here we have all of our companies, and you can see the first 2 columns show that they all offer an ISA and all have an app, as I've already discussed. I've created this as a Google Sheet, which I'll leave in the description box below for you to refer to whenever you want. So the first thing we're going to be actually comparing all of these companies on is their platform fees. That's the direct cost to you as a customer in order to use the platform. Something that's probably very top of mind at the moment and is very important, as of course we're looking to grow our money in this account as much as possible. Anything that stops or limits us from doing that as much as we possibly can is only slowing you down from achieving your financial objectives. If you're interested in why fees are so important and the huge impact they can have on your investment portfolio over the long run, I'll leave the link to one of my much older videos where I dive into the topic further and run through lots of examples up here and in the description box below. So here they are. These are all the platform costs for these businesses. As you can see in our first category, both Trading 2 and 2 and Invest Engine are actually free, with Free Trade coming in at $4.99 a month. You can technically use Free Trade for free, but you will only get access to their general investment account and a more limited selection of investment options. And if you're investing £50 a month, then that £4.99 fee is going to feel pretty expensive, especially at the beginning as you're growing your portfolio. In category 2, we've got a range of different percentages from 0.25 up to 0.45%. Instead of charging a flat fee, these businesses charge a percentage of the value of the investments in your account. However, it's important to know that AJ Bell will charge you £1.50 every time you invest into a fund. So that essentially adds a monthly £1.50 charge onto theirs. Category 3, again, we've got the same percentage methodology. Money Farm will charge you 0.45% for a fixed allocation investment, meaning that they are not monitoring and tweaking the investments on a constant basis as they see fit. They're just leaving them be and rebalancing once a year. Whereas they will charge you 0.75% for a portfolio that does have that oversight and when they do make small changes to the investments. Nutmeg's fees work in exactly the same way, and lastly, Wealthify charged 0.6%. And last but not least, in category 4, we've actually got a mix of the previous fee approaches. With Plum, you'll pay $2.99 a month and a 0.15% fee. With Moneybox, you'll only pay £1 a month, but with the percentage element, you'll pay a slightly higher 0.45%. Remember, that's of your total account value. And lastly, with Chip, you'll pay $4.99 a month if you pay annually, so you pay £65 and 5p for the year, or £5.99 if you pay on a monthly basis. Next up is their investment universe. Essentially, what stocks, shares, funds, ETFs these apps allow you to buy. Now, I've added that data on here, but
no offense, but I really don't care.
If you're just going to be investing into a cheap passive global index fund, for example, or something very similar, then do we actually care whether they can offer 10,000 different stocks, for example? Probably not. You only need one or a small handful of good funds, not 10,000, and they can all offer you what you need, so
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
Another important factor we need to consider is the minimum amount we can invest on a monthly basis with these apps. For example, if you want to automate your investments and just set up a regular direct debit that comes out of your account each month, what is the minimum that amount needs to be? And you can see those figures on screen here. Trading 212 and Free Trade are really well designed for depositing small amounts into your account. Invest Engine is a little bit more, and you do need to deposit £100 initially to open the account, and then the minimum via direct debit is £50. In category 2, all of the monthly investments are £25, while in category 3, with Money Farm, it's definitely a bit more spenny. You need to invest at least £500 to open the account, and their minimum direct debit is £100. Wealthify is the opposite with a nice low £1, and Nutmeg is the same with its minimum monthly investment of just £1. But like Money Farm, you will need to put in £500 just to start the account. And finally, Plum, Moneybox, and Chip all have super low investment minimums of either £1 or £2. So the next two categories we're going to look at are very customer focused, and that is their TrustPilot score and also the amount of customers they actually have. In category 1, you can see Trading 212 wins there with a 4.6 score, with Invest Engine right behind in at 4.5. Free Trade, interestingly, is slightly off the mark with a 4.1. And in category 2, AJ Bell takes it with a strong score of 4.6. Next, our Robo-advisor category has some interesting results, both Money Farm and Wealthify scoring 4.3, while Nutmeg, the biggest in the UK, remember, only scores a 3.7. And finally, in the last category, Moneybox scores the highest with a 4.6, a decent score of 4.4 for Plum, and interestingly, Chip, like Nutmeg, with a sub 4 score. And here are the customer numbers to go alongside those scores. Here we have an absolutely huge range from 10,500 at one end all the way up to 1.7 million. I'm not really going to go through these numbers in any detail. I've just included them here to help you make a decision about what app you may prefer, as I know some people will feel safer using a company that has a large client base. Now, before we get to my rankings, I did promise a quick mention of Vanguard and how they would perform against these same criteria. They do have very low fees of just 0.15%. That's a very good start. They give you access to 84 funds, but only their own funds. Now, some people don't like that, but personally, I don't care. As I said earlier, you don't need thousands of funds, only one or a small handful, and Vanguard's funds are some of the most popular in the whole industry. Their minimum monthly direct debit is a bit higher, £100 unfortunately. Their TrustPilot score is a 4.1, and they do have around 424,000 customers in the UK, but much, much more worldwide. So based on all of this key information, which app is best? Or who should you consider to open an account with? Of course, these are just my opinions and based on a hypothetical situation. Your investment goals, the amount you're saving, what functionality is more or less important to you are all going to be different. And so you may end up with a completely different choice or outcome. The important thing is to, of course, take a look at a few options and choose what one works best for you. For me personally, Invest Engine and Trading 2 and 2 take the crown. They both have no service fee, as well as very clean, well thought out user experience and seamless customer onboarding. They both offer the type of passive global index funds you need for a solid long-term investment. If you're not keen on either of those though, don't worry, there is definitely something for everyone. If you're not comfortable choosing your own investments, or if they're offering and the sheer number of investments on offer scares you, then maybe someone like Moneybox could be a good option. It will cost you slightly more, but they've got a decent app experience and they've got that roundup functionality to help you save more. So I hope that helps give you an overview of some of the best investing apps that are out there at the moment. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to do all those things below the video that every single YouTuber tells you to, and I'll see you in the next one. While I've still got you actually, here is another video of mine that YouTube has algorithmically chosen just for you that it will think you'll like, so why not check that one out next? Excellent choice. But which investment? Both Trading 2 and 2 and Invest Engine. So I held that.